Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with my first impressions of the Fischer Audio M12s. That's Fischer with a C, not to be confused with Fischer Fischer Electronics, which I believe is out of the United States. This is Fischer Fischer Audio that is out of St. Petersburg, Russia. And my understanding is Kennerton Audio is a high-end division of Fischer Audio. So it would be like Toyota and Lexus, where Fischer Audio would be the Toyota and Kennerton would be the Lexus. So anyway, these were sent to me about 3 days ago on loan, actually from Kennerton. And give you a quick look here. These sell for, the price varies depending on what kind of wood they are. The ear cups are made out of real wood, not just a veneer, but the entire cup is made of wood. And I believe these are aged oak, which would put the price at $485. These are a semi-open back headphone. And from the looks of the grill, it looks like it's basically an open back. But what I did is I took a bright flashlight and shined through from the back and found out that that entire area is not open. There's only 4 ports. I'm guessing at the size, less than 1/4 inch in diameter. So there's only 4 ports that are open on it. So it is, you know, a semi-open headphone. They use a 50mm dynamic type of driver. The weight of these, according to Fischer on their website, it says 325 grams. But on my kitchen scale, I'm coming in at 385 grams, which is quite a bit of difference. And actually, in the on their website, they still show these with a permanently attached cable, coiled cable, and I'm not sure. I'm guessing that that weight should have been with the cable, and these have a detachable cable, and without the cable, I'm coming in at 385 grams. But anyway, they still feel light to me. The sensitivity is rated by Fischer at 112 decibels at 1 milliwatt, and I kind of have to question that too, because that would be extremely efficient, like IEM efficient. And even though they are relatively easy to drive, I don't think they're that efficient. Comparing these to some of my other headphones, like the Grotto SR80E, which is only rated at, which is also a 32 ohm headphone, is only rated at 100 decibels at 1 milliwatt. They are actually slightly louder at the same volume knob position on my benchmark HP A2 headphone amps. So like I said, I don't think these are that efficient, but they're still pretty easy to drive, so that's not really a concern. And as I mentioned, the impedance is 32 ohms. These have a steel spring type of headband, and the inner headband is elastic and self-adjusting. So basically you just put these on your head and the band self-adjusts, and that's all there is to it. They're in perfect position and right where you want them to be. They're actually, even though they're 385 pounds or 385 grams, which isn't extremely light, but honestly, when they're on my head, they feel light, they feel comfortable. I barely feel them at all. So I don't think weight is an issue at all with these. The ear pads, if you can see these, are actually very thick, and they're very, very soft. They're a sheepskin on the outside and velour on the inside, and the part touching your head. Some of the most comfortable, softest ear pads I've ever seen on any headphone I've reviewed so far or had a chance to listen to. Like I said, the ear cups, I believe these are the aged oak. And like I said, it's not plastic with a veneer over it. That's the actual ear cup. The cable, and I kind of mentioned this a second ago, on their website it shows a permanently attached single-sided cable, but these came to me with a detachable cable. It's still single-sided. It goes into the left ear cup, and it's a 3.5 millimeter stereo plug on that side. And the cable that came with it is 2 meters long, a little over 6 feet. It's got a nice cloth covering, very soft, very flexible, doesn't tangle, doesn't make any noise when it rubs on itself, and both ends have the same identical 3.5 millimeter 3-segment connection on them. And it also came with the 6.3 millimeter adapter. And something else these headphones came with, which I think is very nice, is this really nice carrying case. I'm not sure if it's real leather or not. I kind of doubt it, but I can't really tell by the smell. But anyway, it's a nice zippers closed carrying case. They go in it very easy. And there's also a pouch in the top and a pouch in the back to store cables or whatever you want. You do have to take the cable off, disconnect it though, so it sits down all the way in the case. And it also comes with a strap and hooks on the side so you can carry it around. So it's a nice bonus in my opinion. Anyway, I did want to mention also, I mentioned this in my last video I did a few days ago, that I'm trying to work on my production a little bit, and one of the problems that I had was my videos were tending to be way too long, so I'm using a timer now to try to get the time down on them just a little bit, because they always end up twice as long as I thought they were. Another thing I'm working on is a couple people have made comments about the unfinished drywall in the background of my videos, and I am working on setting up a new office, and it will have painted walls, and hopefully my videos will look a little bit better when I do that. So please try to be patient with me, because I work a full-time job besides doing this, and I don't have a lot of free time right now, but I'm working on it. So anyway, I want to touch on the sound a little bit, and like I said, I've only had these about 3 days, so you know, I'm not going to go too deep into the sound. But the first thing that really stood out, the first thing I noticed, is these are not what I would consider a neutral headphone as far as tone balance. They definitely have a V shape to the tone balance. They've got pretty strong bass, very good bass. I actually like the bass, and it's got good extension into the sub bass, and but it's still tight and solid, and it's not muddy at all. The mids, especially I would say the upper mids sound a little recessed to me, a little further back, and then there's a pretty good is peak the word I'm looking for? I would say the treble is a little emphasized too. So a definite V shape to the tone balance, little boost in the bass, little lower in the mids, and then boost again in the treble. The frequency extension on these is actually very good. They go really deep. The sub bass is very good on these, and they go very high. You know, very present, very detailed treble on these. When I first put these on, for the first few seconds, the mid-range sounds kind of distant and just kind of laid back to me. And my personal taste is I like very neutral headphones. So that isn't really what I would say my cup of tea, but the fact is, and maybe it's just my brain, but once I've been listening to these a couple minutes, that feeling kind of goes away, where it really sounds, you know, well balanced and more neutral to me, but just a little more on the fun side of neutral, you know, a little extra bass and a little extra treble. So that feeling of the mid-range being a little distant really goes away very quickly, and within a couple minutes they actually sound really good to me. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of a V-shaped tone balance normally, but these actually sound pretty good to me. The sound stage, I would say, is about average for an open back headphone. So considering these are semi-closed, I would say it's got a pretty decent, pretty wide sound stage. The imaging seems to be pretty good, you know, pretty good separation of instruments. The clarity and detail are both good. Nothing sounds muffled, you know. I popped in a few of my CDs that I use for references, and everything that should be there is there. I mean, the detail is very good on these, especially in the treble. Very good detail in the treble. To be honest, these kind of remind me, the headphone they remind me the most of would be the Meza 99 Classic, and that's kind of what the Meza was about, was a V-shaped tone balance. These are less extreme. The Meza has more bass than these, but these definitely have a tighter, cleaner, less muddy bass than the Meza. And these actually, to tell you the truth, the Meza has a little bit too much bass for me. They're just a little bit too bassy. So these are kind of like that, but a little more tamed down and not as extreme. The mid-range is a little less set back than in the Meza, so it's a little more present. And then the treble is actually quite a bit brighter and more detail in the treble than the Meza. But the Meza has a similar type of headband, the similar self-adjusting, the wooden ear cups, they're light, they're comfortable. So to me, this is kind of like a deluxe Meza 99 Classic. So if you like the Meza, you probably love these. Unless, you just really like that really hard-hitting bass of the Meza, then, that might be the headphone for you. But anyway, I also was going to compare these a little bit to the closest thing I have in price range would be the Hi-Fi Man Sundara. And the Sundara originally sold for $500, and it's on sale now for $350. But comparing the two, the Sundara is definitely more neutral. I would consider the Sundara dead neutral. And these have more bass, they have more sub bass, and these are a little brighter in the treble. And the Sundaras have more presence and a little more detail in the upper mid-range, so like I said, the Sundaras would be more of a neutral headphone. This would be more of a fun headphone that's going to sound great with rock and electronic stuff like that. So overall, I would just say this is a light, comfortable, relatively easy to drive headphone with a V-shaped tone balance, with good bass, good treble, and good detail. So I'm going to wrap this up. This was just a first impressions. Oh, and they come with a 1-year warranty from Fischer. So anyway, once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video helped you at all, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you're all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. Thank you.